Yeah, Jack, obvious question. Did you think you were going to get pulled? What was the conversation of getting pulled? And was it just a matter of pitch count?
I mean, I had no idea how many pitches I'd thrown, and obviously you always want to go back out there, but I wasn't going to argue it. I know Coach Brown's going to make the right call, and that's what he told me, and I was just going to support my guys from that point on.
What was the difference in the first no-hitter and this one in terms of your stuff? Was this one better, worse, feel kind of the same, different?
I would say it felt similar to start off, but in this one I found my secondary pitches a lot quicker. So I would say my secondaries were a lot better today. And the one difference that was better last weekend probably was a little bit fastball command. It was a little spotty today, and also I'm sure the velocity might have been a tiny bit better last week, but I have no idea on that one. But like I said, the secondaries did feel better today.
Quickly.
Jack, what's that like watching the last couple innings from the bench?
I mean, you try to keep it the same as any other inning, watching your guys and cheer them on like I normally would. Obviously it was a little different with no hits on the board at that point, but really it's just the same, trying to give them all the energy that I have left for the night and kind of pour it onto them.
Chris, did you have a follow-up?
No, I don't. Sorry.
All good. Adam, do you have another?
Yeah, Jack, I know you're a confident guy, but how do you explain this? What were your expectations? Your two SEC games in, you haven't given up a hit yet. What is this like?
I mean, it feels pretty normal, honestly. We have another game tomorrow. You know, get up for breakfast and do the same thing, and probably do some homework too. So it's I'd say it feels kind of normal, and kind of start thinking now how I'm going to prepare for next week.
Your dad was a pretty proud dad 6 days ago. Not just a baseball guy, but it looked like just a pretty proud dad. Have you had any contact with him now? And if not, how do you think he'll respond to this one?
I think he'll definitely be happy. I'm sure I have some texts waiting for him, and I'll probably call him when I get back. And I mean, it'll probably be the same as other days, really. I'm sure this was only the second start this year that he missed. He wasn't there in person, so he was probably watching from home, and I don't know, maybe he was still charting like he does when he's at the game. So I'm sure there will be some moments in the game to still talk about stuff and maybe improve on.
Thanks.
Good to go. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Just joining now.
Yeah, Corpse. I'll go the first one, I guess. Jack was pitching on short rest, and he already had topped 100 pitches. Is that a no-brainer that you pull him there, or is there some conversation at all of keeping him in?
Well, there's not much conversation with him. It's just a conversation with Brownie, and it's just trying to preserve the arm, understand it's a long season and it's a long way to go. We understand the situation, but same time, he's got a lot of things to do moving forward for our group, and he's got something to do for himself, in terms of health. So no, it wasn't much of a thought. We knew where he was, and we knew what we wanted to do.
And I guess some people don't really understand that this is a college baseball game, and you're thinking of his health for this season, but you tend to always keep that perspective of he's got a major league career ahead of him, a professional career. You have to keep that in mind with a guy like that, right?
Well, I mean, I think all of them. I think otherwise you don't get guys like that. I think the key to recruiting good arms is understanding how to use them and how to preserve them and how to maintain their health. If you don't maintain their health, then they're not going to be much good. So yeah, that's the priority. Always will be.
Right. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Any more for Coach?
Chris Lee, did you have a question?
Yeah, Tim, is that a little bit easier? I mean, that's a brutal spot to be in, right? You want to see your guy excel and make history, but all the things that you just outlined are also concerns. Is that a little bit easier with him already having one of the books last week?
No, I don't know if we were even thinking that way more. I think the biggest thing is just winning the game, number one, and just being as clean as we possibly can be. But I think as far as Jack was concerned, it was just the short rest and where he was and what he needs to do going forward. And I think that was more the deciding factor than anything else.
Why did you guys decide to add Berkwich to the series roster this week, and why him for the 9th?
There's several kids that weren't on this trip that were last week, so we added him. Because there's been an uptick in his performance and in his training and his bullpens, and happy for the kid because he's pitched well, and there's some good energy in his arm, and he's going to be good for us. So I think that was a good moment for him just to get him out there in that particular situation. We had a cushion, so he could rear back and try to throw strikes, and I thought he did fine.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Chris.
Thank you, guys. Oh, great.
Tim,
Yep.
You're on mute.
Chris.
sorry. What's the difference with CJ? We've always seen him make a lot of contact, but now we're seeing him turn that into long, hard contact. What's been the difference for him as kind of the switch has flipped the last 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, I think the consistency of playing, Chris. I just think the continuation of games for him has helped him. It's gotten him in a rhythm a little bit, and he's starting to see the ball well. He's a good fastball hitter, but I think you pile up the at-bats for him. It's a little bit easier for him to get into a routine and build his acumen at the plate. I just think it's that more than anything else. He's always been a good hitter, though. I mean, through the fall and through the early part of the winter, and certainly last year too, you could see it at certain points in time. I mean, we had him hit number 2 at the beginning of the year last year. So CJ's always been a pretty good hitter for us, but now he's starting to get some consistent at bats, and I think that helps him.
Is that it? Thanks, guys. Have a
Okay,
good night.
guys. Thank you for hanging around.
Thanks, Corbs. Thanks, Josh.